Hi, everybody.
Hi, Jeremy.
Hello.
Hi. Hi.
The Cajuns have sound tonight.
Well, Mom and Dad are downstairs.
Hi, girls.
Hi.
Hey, boys.
Okay, I'm trying to get our Facebook stream up and running here. I have, uh, I have determined that something, whether it is the streaming software or Zoom or Facebook, I'm not sure yet, but somewhere along the line, someone has updated something that doesn't allow me to share my slides and Zoom at the same time. So I have my notes over here off to the side on a separate screen. But good to see everybody tonight. I think everybody's in so far. All right, good. So let's get started. What I would like to do is start by doing a little bit of drill, a little bit of quiz with everything that we have covered so far. The texts that go in our different Bible time periods. So we're going to review everything that we've covered so far, and then we'll add some more to it tonight. What I want to do is give you all a little snapshot of what I'm planning to do for the Wednesday night study starting in a couple of weeks. I mentioned that this morning, and I wanted to tell you all about it because, well, quite frankly, you all are the most likely participants, not that there wouldn't be others. But I want to tell you a little bit about what I have planned. A few years ago, actually not long before we moved here, there was a brother in the Indianapolis area who shared with me a Bible study that he uses in an effort to teach people the gospel. And the way he has structured this is he actually just simply has some notes written in his Bible from passage to passage, and it's a series of questions. And the way he presents it is as an open book test. And so the idea is, here's a question, all right? Here's the passage, let's go and let's find the answer to that and write that down. And so it's a good review for all of us on should we say first principles, and whether or not you choose to use this exact way of going about teaching someone, it reinforces those first principles and puts some passages in your head so that you are equipped to have those conversations. I really like it. I've used it myself since Dan shared it with me. And over the course of 1, 2, 3 sessions, you can go through this material and teach someone the first principles of the gospel, the first principles of the Lord's church. So what I'm planning to do is on Wednesday nights, go through that material with you. I'd like to do it in 3 sessions, but depending upon the pace of it, it may take longer than that since we're having to do this over Zoom, and that slows things down just a little bit. So I wanted to let you know that that's what I have in mind, so you can make a somewhat educated decision about whether or not you want to join us. But we're planning to do that on Wednesdays at 7. Same thing, 40-minute session just like this, and we'll do that interactively. I'll put the question and the passage out there. I'll ask one of you all to read the passage. I'll ask the group, okay, how does that answer our question? And we can make our notes as we go along. since I'm having some screen sharing difficulties, and I haven't been able to get that sorted out, I'm probably going to relocate. I'll test this, but I'm probably going to relocate over to the house and put our television in the background so that you can actually still see some visual aids as we go along, and just see how that works, since actually sharing the slides on the on Zoom hasn't quite worked the way that I intended. So that's the plan, and we'll see how it goes. All right, so let's jump into tonight's study. Let me pull up. Yes, Greg, we're on. Just saw your message. Okay, so let's do a little bit of quiz, just a little bit of drill. If you haven't been here in the last week or so and aren't prepared to answer, just wave me off. But everybody, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a book of the Bible, and you tell me what Bible time period the book fits into. If the book spans more than one Bible time period, as some of them do, you have to ask me what chapters I'm talking about or what part of the book I'm talking about. And I'll tell you, and then you tell me the Bible time period. Don't look so excited, Allie. Okay. All right. Yeah, you forget that I can see you. All right. So that's we're just going to do a little bit of review. Okay. Actually, let's get started. What we'll do is we're going to do this as a group. Okay. So everybody respond. We'll make it easy to start with. Okay. The book of Exodus.
The Exodus.
Oh, okay. This was supposed to be the easy one. Okay. All right. The Exodus. Okay, good. All right. Allie, can you tell me another book that fits into that same Bible time period? Who can tell me another book that fits into the same Bible time period?
Leviticus.
Leviticus. Good. All right. There's one more part that fits into that Bible time period. Who can tell me what it is?
Number
Numbers.
Numbers. Alan, what were the chapters?
1 through 13.
Good. 1 through 13. Okay. All right.
This is a book exam.
I'm sorry?
This is an open book exam, right?
No. Okay. All right. The book of Deuteronomy.
Huh.
Where does it fit?
Wandering in the wilderness.
Wandering in the wilderness. Good. Okay. Greg, what else fits into wandering in the wilderness?
Oh, she already said numbers.
Deuteronomy 1 through.
No, I already gave you Deuteronomy. I said, what else fits into that Bible time period?
I thought she already said
Numbers.
What part of Numbers?
1 through
14 through the rest.
14 through the rest.
14 through the rest. Yeah. 1 through 13 fit into the Exodus. 14 through the rest. All right. Diana, what else fits into that Bible time period? There's one more part.
Oh, Joshua 1 through, I don't know, 4? It's not very much, I don't think.
Yeah, no, yeah. 1 through 5. 1 through 5. Because what happens in Joshua chapter 6?
invasion and conquest of the land.
All right, that starts the invasion and conquest because Joshua chapter 6 is the conquering of what city?
Jericho.
Jericho. That's how you remember that. Okay, good. All right, so invasion of the conquest starts in Joshua chapter 6. Where does it end?
26.
24. There's not 26 chapters, but that's okay.
24.
That's okay. That's all right. 20 through the end of the book of Joshua. Okay, the rest of the book of Joshua. Good. All right. Genesis 1 through 5. I'll give you another shot, Allie. An easy one. Genesis 1 through 5.
Before the flood.
Before the flood. Ella, Genesis 6 through 10.
The flood.
The flood. Ferguson family. Genesis chapter 11. The scattering of the people. Good. Brian, Genesis 12 through 50.
The patriarchs.
The patriarchs. Good. All right. So I think we have covered everything that we have. We've covered everything we've done so far. Okay. So tonight we're going to pick up. So the last one that we did was the invasion and conquest of the land. That's Joshua chapter 6 through 24. All right. So what's our next Bible time period after the invasion and conquest of the land?
Judges.
Judges.
The Judges. All right. Now, don't strain yourself, okay? But can anybody guess what book of the Bible goes into the period of the Judges? Good. Okay. All right. And so what book of the Bible?
Judges.
Judges. Okay. Thank you, Kathy. All right. That was not a trick question. All right. There are two more parts that go into the book of Judges. Does anybody know either of them? What else fits into the time period of the Judges?
Oh, I have 1 Samuel through 1 Samuel 9.
That is correct. 1 Samuel 1 through 9. Okay. Because what happens in 1 Samuel chapter 8? First, all right, let me back up. Who was Samuel?
Last judge.
Last
The
judge.
last judge. Okay, so that helps you remember that the book that has his name, okay, that part of that is going to go with the period of the Judges. What big event kind of marks the transition from Judges to kingdom? What big event in 1 Samuel chapter 8?
Solomon, or I mean King Saul.
Okay, we're
Yeah.
coming to King Saul, but in chapter 8 they say, "Give us a king."
They say, give us a king
Give us
to
a
be like the
king.
other nations.
That's chapter 8. Chapter 9, Saul becomes king. So that's why you have this chunk of 1 Samuel that goes with the period of the Judges. I said 1 Samuel chapter 9. It may actually be chapter 10. I'm gonna this part is open book, Alan. I got to look at my actually he's publicly made king in chapter 10. I said chapter 9. So you have chapter 8, chapter 9 that are kind of these transition chapters. So there's one more part to the period of the Judges. So we've got the book of Judges, 1 Samuel chapters 1 through 9. There's one more book of the Bible that goes in this Bible time period. Anybody know what it is?
Is it the first part of First Kings?
Nope, we're not there yet.
All right.
We're not there yet. It's oops,
So
somebody
it's
said it, I think.
Ruth.
Ruth. That's right. The book of Ruth. the book of Ruth fits into the time period of the Judges. Okay. All right. So, all right. So, since the littlest Bekejan already started singing the Judges song, we are going to try singing the Judges song. Now, Rachel told me a process that was supposed to help with this, and Rachel, I don't remember what you told me. I think I have to mute everybody and then unmute one at a time. Is that right, Rachel?
Basically, the only way it works is if everybody's muted and then you unmute people randomly and remute them. If everybody tries to sing at the same time, it just turns into a giant mess because of the speed of everybody's bandwidth.
Got it. Okay. All right. So we are going to learn the Judges song so that we remember the order of the judges. There are 15. There are actually 14 judges. Abimelech, we list him among the judges. He was a leader, not technically a judge in the same sense as the other. But we're going to talk about the judges and what falls into this. So what we are going to do is I just muted all of you, and I'm going to get this started. But I expect to see lips moving even if I can't hear you. And I'm going to be checking in on you by unmuting you one at a time. So, let's see. Oops. Oh. Now somehow I can't unmute you. How did that work? Well, I muted and now you all have to unmute yourselves. Okay. All right. So I guess this time you have to listen to me sing. All right. So we're going to sing the Judges song. Okay. So those of you who know it. All right. Othniel, Ehud, Shamgar, Deborah, Gideon, Abimelech, Tola, Jair, Jephthah, Ibzan, Elon, Abdon, Samson, Eli, Samuel. Okay. All right. All right. So now let's try. Laura can help me sing it. And Evelyn Bekejan, you going to help me sing the Judges song? Okay. All right. All right. Let's sing it. Othniel, Ehud, Shamgar, Deborah, Gideon, Abimelech, Tola, Jair, Jephthah, Ibzan, Elon, Abdon, Samson, Eli, Samuel. Is that the one that you learned in class, Laura? Did I get it right? I don't want to confuse the kids. Okay.
We sing slow.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's see if we can just say those 15 together, since singing doesn't work all that well. Okay. Othniel, Ehud, Shamgar, Deborah, Gideon, Abimelech, Tola, Jair, Jephthah, Ibzan, Elon, Abdon, Samson, Eli, Samuel. All right. So those are the judges. Now there's three more little things that fit into this time period. You have the story of, at the end of the book of Judges, you have the story of Micah, the story of the Levite's concubine, and then we've already talked about the book of Ruth. But the 15 judges and the book of Ruth, so what fits into this Bible time period? Give me part of it.
Judges.
The book of Judges. What else? What else?
First,
What?
1 Samuel 1 through 9.
1 Samuel 1 through 9. And what else?
Ruth.
The book of Ruth. The book of Ruth. Okay. So now that brings us to the United Kingdom. All right? The United Kingdom. Now, when we talk about the United Kingdom, what kings are we talking about?
Saul, David, and Solomon.
Saul, David, and Solomon. All right? So we've already said that Saul is publicly anointed as king in 1 Samuel chapter what?
And
10.
1 Samuel chapter 10. Now here's the easy way to remember this, okay? 1 Samuel is Saul. 2 Samuel is David. 1 Kings is Solomon. Now, not all of 1 Kings, but that's the way you can remember that. So obviously, 1 Samuel 1 through 9, that's still Samuel. But from 1 Samuel 10 through the rest of 1 Samuel, who's that about?
David.
Saul. 2 Samuel is about
David.
David. And in 1 Kings, Solomon. Okay. Now, what happened in 1 Kings chapter 12? This is another big important chapter in Bible history. I'll give you a hint. We're talking about the United Kingdom. What comes next?
Divided kingdom.
The divided kingdom. So guess what happened in 1 Kings chapter 12?
Divided king.
The kingdom divided. Okay? So, if you can remember that 1 Kings chapter 12 is the beginning of the divided kingdom, what part of 1 Kings goes with the United Kingdom?
1 through 11.
1 through 11. Does it make sense? Everybody follow that? All right. So the United Kingdom is 1 Samuel 10 through 1 Kings 11. There's another way you can remember it. It starts with chapter 10 in 1 Samuel. It ends in chapter 11, but in 1 Kings. Does that make sense? There's another way that you can remember that. Now, here's the tricky part. What other books of the Bible tell us about the history of the united and divided kingdoms?
Chronicles.
Chronicles. All right. Chronicles. So now the Chronicles are a little bit different because they don't just jump right into kingdom history. If you look at First Chronicles, the first 9 chapters of the book of First Chronicles are genealogies. All right, and while there are parts of Bible history that obviously those genealogies fit into, for the purpose of what we're doing right now, First Chronicles chapters 1 through 9, we're not really worried about those. Okay? So, for the United Kingdom, we start with First Chronicles chapter 10. First Chronicles chapter 10. And then that First Chronicles 10 through the end of the book of First Chronicles is all about David. Saul really doesn't play into, I mean, we learn about the death of Saul, but we don't really have the story of Saul in First Chronicles. That's just First Samuel. First Chronicles chapter 10 really picks up with David. That's the rest of First Chronicles. And then Second Chronicles 1 through 9 talk about Solomon. So the United Kingdom, 1 Samuel 10 through 1 Kings 11, and then 1 Chronicles 10, same chapter number as 1 Kings, through 2 Chronicles 9. All right? So here's another way you can remember that. Okay? First Samuel 10 through 1 Kings 11. Starts in chapter 10, ends in chapter 11. Not the same book, but chapter 10 to chapter 11. Okay? We talked about that a minute ago. Now, the Chronicles account starts in the same chapter, 1 Chronicles 10. Instead of going forward to 11, we go back to 9, 2 Chronicles 9. So 10, 11, 10, 9. Everybody see that? Now, those little memory devices may not help you like they help me. Okay? And you may not even remember every single chapter division, especially when we start talking about United Kingdom, divided kingdom, Judah alone, in captivity. These get a little bit, but here's what you can do. You can remember that First Chronicles goes with the United Kingdom, and the first part of Second Chronicles goes with the United Kingdom. Even if you don't remember, it cuts off with chapter 9, right? You can remember in big chunks. And that will help you so that when you're looking at something, when a Bible class teacher says Second Chronicles chapter 3, well, you know, that's the first part of Second Chronicles. We're in the United Kingdom, right? So you have these, if you were talking about this in, you know, I don't know what field, but you think about it in space, right? It goes in this part goes with this part, big chunks. And so we're not talking about every single chapter, memorizing what's in every chapter. We're just trying to put big chunks of the Bible in their place. All right? So, all right, let's do one more. Let's do the divided kingdom, and then we'll go back and review. All right? So, let's go back to 1 Kings, right? We said 1 Samuel is who?
So,
Saul. In terms of the kingdom, I know the first part is Samuel, but 1 Samuel is Saul. 2 Samuel is
David.
David. 1 Kings is Solomon. 1 Kings chapters 1 through what?
11.
11. The divided kingdom comes in 1 Kings chapter
12.
12. All right. 1 Kings chapter 12. All right. So, the divided kingdom. 1 Kings chapter 12 through 2 Kings chapter 17. Sorry, I have absolutely no memory device for you on that at all. Okay? But 1 Kings 12 through 2 Kings 17. All right? Now, with the United Kingdom, where did we leave off in Chronicles?
9.
Second Chronicles
Second
9.
Chronicles 9. So the United Kingdom picks up with Second Chronicles 10 and carries us through the end of Second Chronicles. Or no, I'm sorry, not the end of Second Chronicles. I'm getting ahead of myself. Through Second Chronicles 29. Through Second Chronicles chapter 29. All right. So 1 Kings 12 through 2 Kings 17 and 2 Chronicles 10 through 29. All right. Now, we need to also talk about prophets of the divided kingdom, but we're going to get to that. We're not going to do that just yet. All right. I don't want anybody's heads to explode. All right. So let's review what we have covered tonight. Okay. I'm going to give you a book and a chapter. Okay. A book and a chapter. And you tell me what Bible time period it fits into. Tonight, for this part, you've only got 3 options. Judges, United Kingdom, Divided Kingdom. Okay? So you've got a 33 1/3% chance of getting it right, even if you're just guessing, but no guessing. All right? So I'm just going to give you a book and a chapter. I'm going to give you a single chapter. I'm just going to pick a chapter at random. Okay? You tell me where it fits. Okay? 1 Kings chapter 7, Diana, since you're laughing at me.
Okay, First Kings chapter 7. So that's going to be, First Kings is Solomon. So that's going to be United Kingdom.
Good. See, that's the process. There you go. That's the process. That's how you work through it. Okay? 2 Chronicles chapter 17, Brian.
2 Chronicles 17. Is that the divided kingdom?
The divided kingdom. Good. All right. 2 Samuel chapter 4. Wilson's.
Which bunch?
Oh, sorry. We had 2 bunches of Wilsons tonight. Sorry. I was looking at Jim and Vicky. At least that's who I was looking at on my screen. 2 Samuel chapter 4.
2 Samuel. Divided kingdom? United kingdom.
United Kingdom. United Kingdom. Okay. Alan Rich, Ruth chapter 7.
Judges.
You're wrong because there's not 7 chapters in Ruth, but that's okay. I was just seeing if you were paying attention. That's for your brown shirt comment. By the way, it was gray shirt, not brown.
Maybe it was just dirty.
I'll have you know my wife washes my clothes. Okay.
I have to explain that to everyone.
No, it's all right. No,
That's how I figure out which one I'm on. Sometimes I use the background, but I check out your shirt because there's 2 or 3. And I should have explained that.
if you missed that this morning, count yourself lucky. Okay. All right. Judges chapter 3, Laura.
Chapter 3. It's Judges.
It's Judges. All of Judges is Judges.
Yeah.
All right. 2 Kings chapter 10. Tom and Rhonda.
Divided kingdom.
Divided Kingdom. All right. The book of Ruth. Ella Bekejan.
The Book of Ruth.
Yes.
Oh, dear.
Where does it fit? All right, help her out, Allie, since you think
Yeah,
it's so
help
funny.
me.
All right, everybody else, help them out. Where does it fit? Give me the hand motion.
Judges.
Judges.
The judges. All right. All right. Ferguson, First Chronicles, chapter 12.
United Kingdom.
United Kingdom. All right. So let's go back. We've got about 4 minutes left before we get kicked off of Zoom. So let's go back and review. Okay. The book of Judges.
40 minutes and you gotta pay for it.
Tell me what it contains. Or not the book of Judges. Sorry. The Bible time period, the Judges. It contains the book of Judges and what else?
Ruth. And
Ruth,
Samuel.
First
1 through 9.
1 through 9. Okay. The United Kingdom picks up in 1 Samuel 10
10.
and goes through
1 Kings 1 through 11.
1 Kings 11. Good. And it also includes 1 Chronicles
Second
10.
Chronicles.
And
10 through 2 Chronicles
Through 9.
9.
9. All right. And
Right.
then the divided kingdom picks up in 1 Kings 12. 1 Kings 12 and goes through
2 Kings 17.
2 Kings 17. Okay. And then 2 Chronicles chapter
10
And
10 through
29.
29. All right. Good. Good. All right. For bonus points, let's talk about the prophets of the divided kingdom. All right. Now, when we talk about the prophets, we're talking about what we call the literary prophets or the writing prophets. All right. So there are more prophets that spoke. For example, in the time of David, what prophet came and confronted David about his sin with Bathsheba?
Nathan.
Nathan, right? But we don't have a book with his name on it. All right. So when we talk about prophets in a Bible time period, we're talking about the literary or the writing prophets. All right. Zoom is telling me that we have less than a minute. So I'm going to stop right there. We'll add prophets next week. Okay. We'll add prophets next week. Good to see everybody tonight. Thank you for participating. Lord willing, 1 week from Wednesday, not this Wednesday, but 1 week from Wednesday, we'll start a Wednesday night class. If you've got questions about that, let me know. Y'all have a great week. Bye, everybody.
Good night.
Yeah.
Bye.